Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Wins. We are on Hachiro Iba's route, and we're in his final chapter as far as this game is concerned. And then we'll have to wait for the next game to find out the rest of his story. So, let's check out what goes on with his final chapter here. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. I was in the middle of organizing some of the medical supplies as Dr. Matsumoto had asked me. After finishing up my cleaning, my thoughts lingered on how Yamazaki was. Last night I checked up on how his treatment was going, but the wounds were serious. According to Dr. Matsumoto, we would know by tonight or tomorrow if he would make it. Hijikata seemed prepared for the worst, offering only a worn, tired smile in response. Stuff he's seen far too often in his line of work. The Shinsengumi had sadly experienced some huge blows as an outcome of this war.
Chizuru, there you are. You had only just returned yesterday, and now you're already hard at work, and no rest for the wicked.
Iba.
I was looking for you. I wanted to say goodbye before I left for Edo.
You can't leave without me. You promised Sen you would look after me. What the heck are you doing? It didn't seem like he was experiencing any negative effects, smiling softly back at me. How are you feeling? The sun has already risen.
Not too bad, honestly. Same for this as well.
Iba pulled up his sleeve, showing me his left arm. Even at a glance, it was obvious the arm was not his own. This arm, containing an untold amount of demon power within it. All to keep me safe. Then why is he leaving? As I furrowed my brow looking at it, Iba picked up my reaction.
This isn't something you need to feel bad or responsible for. It was expected that Takeda would have wanted to exact revenge on me. I am certain that even if you were not with me, something like this would have happened eventually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. He thinned his eyes, staring at me with a stern but gentle expression.
Besides, if you hadn't been there with me, doubt that Sen would have given me the demon's arm in the first place.
Yeah, and he might have bled out then.
So, for as long as I have this arm, I won't have to give up fighting. So, for you, I am grateful.
That's one way to look at it, all right. From the window behind us, the sun was beginning to shine warmly on Iba's cheekbones. Oh, I tried to say something. But we got a picture instead.
See? Sunlight doesn't seem to hurt me.
Or are you just a really good actor? As the sunlight made his eyes glisten, Iba kept his calm, kind expression in focus.
So please, keep your chin up. You don't need to shoulder the blame for this.
He may have been lying to keep me from worrying, but even so, the way he deliberately tried to comfort my fears lifted the anxiety weighing my heart down. Iba, what will you do now?
I am a vassal of the Tokugawa clan, so I will go wherever Lord Yoshinobu is.
But doesn't that violate what he promised Sen? He's not supposed to interfere with history anymore. He can't serve anymore. But I wanted to ask how he could, considering Lord Yoshinobu abandoned all the men fighting for him. He answered calmly.
A lord can only rule as well as his vassals can serve him.
Huh?
It means, no matter how much a lord strays from his lordly duties, the vassal's duties are the same, and we must honor our work. I think Toshi and the rest of his men seem to understand this concept as well. If they can do it, so can I.
As Iba spoke passionately, he shined so brightly I almost needed to squint. How they all could retain their composure and senses of self perplexed me. Especially for Iba, being told directly from Sen that he was too insignificant to play a great role in the history of mankind. As I anxiously thought about the future to come, I couldn't help but feel somewhat depressed. But there's no time for that now. I must stay positive. Well, I think I should go back soon. As much as I didn't want to see him go, the longer I stayed with him, the harder it would be to see him off, so I turned around and initiated the goodbye.
Wait, please stay with me, even just a moment longer.
You're making it harder on me. Huh? My heart skipped as his voice came from behind me, stopping me in my tracks. What had gotten over him? Usually he just watched me tenderly as I left them behind. But never before had he said outright that he didn't want me to... More sunlight peeked through the corner of the window, making Iba's eyes squint cutely.
Cutely? I often have to ask myself, why the thought of you leaving fills me with such emptiness. My heart doesn't beat the same.
You've already told me like a million times that you love me. His voice quivered, and for the first time Iba seemed vulnerable to me.
My heart beats uneasily without you. I hear a voice telling me it won't rest until I'm by your side in Edo.
Take me with you then.
I want nothing more than to never leave you. I want to keep you safe with my own 2 hands. My own flesh and blood. This alone I regret.
Iba's eyes turned forlorn after confessing his worries to me, and he gripped his left arm, which was covered in a blood-soaked wrap. I couldn't just watch as he beat himself up. We'll see each other again in Edo, right? Iba quickly turned his head up, taking comfort from my suggestion.
We just keep exchanging smiles and frowns. Of course, in Edo the 2 of us shall come together.
Iba gave a wry smile and gave a big sigh. He held his left arm tightly, using it as an outlet to channel the turmoil bubbling inside him. After a short while, we both stared at the sun, which was completing its normal ascent.
Don't do that, you'll go blind.
There was still so much to worry about, like Takeda, father, and Iba's new demon appendage. But even with all that, Iba and I could share in the beauty of this new day together. Oh, don't tell me that's the end. What? That's like barely a last chapter. Darn it. Alright, well, I guess we're maybe fitting all the endings into this one. Like we did with Sonins. But yeah, I'll let you go ahead and sit through the ending credits here before we start going through his tragic love ending. Somehow it just kind of snuck up on me because, I don't know, I guess for some reason, because of how Sakamoto's route went, I kind of expected these 2 to split off from the Shinsengumi and go their own way to go chase after Takeda and her father. So I didn't expect it to end until they had already split off. But I guess that'll come later on in his story in the second book. I feel like they have to split off at some point. Maybe not. Because, I mean, as long as they have stuff to do with their father, there's a possibility they could stick with the Shinsengumi for quite a while. Yeah, there's not really any telling till we actually get there. I just hope they don't take forever to get it to us. Oh, that's right, we do have these epilogues. I almost forgot! Well, not that I would have skipped anyway, but here it is. January 1868. The Battle of Tobo-Fushimi ended with the Satsuma and Choshu victorious. As the shogunate troops retreated, the Shinsengumi headed toward Edo. 4 years ago, I came to Kyoto all by myself in search of my father and met the Shinsengumi. I'm going to leave the city of Kyoto, where I made my fond memories with Shinsengumi. He gained the power of a demon in order to protect me, and I have chosen to walk beside him. We're going to head to Edo, without knowing what fate awaits us. Oh, that wasn't much of an epilogue. Kind of similar to some of the other ones we've seen. Alright, now let's go after his tragic love ending. Read some more sad stuff. Alright, so down to the record of service. All the way down to Hachiro Iba in chapter 5. Begin from this chapter with low romance. And skip until you come to the choices. And I guess because we have low romance, we already have some different text, but okay. Hijikata's order made me gasp. Had that meant that Hijikata was already aware of Okita's condition?
Huh? Who are you talking about? I'm talking about Soji. He has tuberculosis. His future isn't looking so bright. What?
I wasn't sure if Okita had told Hijikata himself, or if it were Yamazaki who informed him, but it seemed Hijikata was not only aware of Okita's disease, but had already made plans around it. I mean, his order made sense. It was easy to see that Okita was in no condition to fight, and there was no way for him to conceal his illness from Hijikata, who'd known him for so long.
Got it. So, Soji's got tuberculosis, huh?
Heisuke became a fury. Kondo was almost fatally wounded, and now Okita's illness has gotten worse. The Shinsegumi's fate seemed to hang in the balance, as their leadership seemed to be dealt blow after blow. It didn't seem like anyone felt comfortable voicing these concerns aloud, but there was no way they weren't worried about our collective futures. And skipping? This time I had to say, I don't want to go, because I don't. In any other circumstances, I would have been too intimidated to voice my opinion to Hijikata, but I can't do that. I struggled to find anything else to say, however...
What did you say?
Hijikata made no attempts to hide his frustrations as he questioned me. The coldness of his glare made my knees shake. The Shinsengumi has protected me and cared for my well-being for as long as I've been with them. If Kyoto really is going to become a war zone, then many of our men will get hurt, men like Kondo and Okita. When it comes to sword wounds, recovery depends entirely on how quickly treatment is given. Knowing this, I apologize if this is rash, but I can't agree that my place is away from here. As I finished my explanation, Hijikata rolled his eyes as if dealing with an unruly child, but then eventually...
Geez, you're a stubborn one. And the worst part is you've got everyone fooled.
Well, I seem like a nice, sweet, timid girl, but I'm really quite obstinate. And here I'll fight by Inoue's, or I'll say I want to fight by Inoue's side, although I probably still won't actually be able to. But it's still my will and what I want to say. It wasn't that I had any doubts in Inoue's swordsmanship, but even then, a 2-on-1 battle between Inoue against my father and Takeda didn't bode well for him. Wait, I'll fight too! Then Inoue's tone adopted a stern urgency that I'd never heard him use before. He used the father voice.
What are you talking about? You have been tasked with a mission. If the both of us die here, then you will be letting down Sanin, Heisuke, and Hijikata, all of whom place their belief in you.
But you're like a father to me, Inoue. He was right. Staying here meant I could potentially lose the secret of the Furies to the Satsuma Choshu, meaning that all this could be for nothing. It already is all for nothing because they have Kodo, and Kodo knows more than what's in these stupid little papers. I truly didn't want to leave Inoue alone, but it was the only way. So we have to choose okay again here. So I'm guessing that the difference between the continuation ending and the tragic love ending is the fact that we're on low romance with this route. So we just click okay again, and skip until we get the new ending, which starts here.
Nuh-uh, don't do that.
Sen had come from behind me to grab my arm so we could run away. Oh. Takeda had performed a running jump kick, knocking Sen to the other side of the room. Sen!
Chizuru, run for it.
Iba screamed out to me. What are you doing? Run for it! Both Iba and Sen were telling me to make an escape. I'd sprinted for the exit, using their words as motivation to run into the freezing darkness. I had no sense of direction, and all I could do was run through the woods and hope I didn't trip. By the grace of the moonlight, my eyes started adjusting to the dark, but it was still impossible to see. As I made my way through the foggy trees, I turned to look over my shoulder occasionally, hoping no one or nothing was behind me. Eventually, my fatigue got the better of me, and my feet were aching with sharp pain. Even so, I had to grit my teeth and continue on. I'd circled around the forest, coming back to the village I had just run away from. There was no one to be seen, however. Sen, Kimigiku, my father, Takeda, and even Iba all gone. Where could everyone have gone? To be honest, I was just tired of running. I struggled to stand and just fell to the floor. I was lying on the floor watching the sky swirl above me, thinking about how they had yelled at me to run away, all just to end up in the same place. So maybe if I just waited here, Sen and Iba would return. I mean, they had to come back eventually, right? So yes, maybe just some rest. Puddles of blood began to pool under me. What? All I could do was watch the sky above me, holding on to my thin hope for the best. How the hell did that happen? How was I that injured that I didn't heal up? Man, that wasn't even a tragic love ending because, usually... I mean, we've only been through 2 other tragic love endings before, but something bad happens to the guy and it's sad. I've always said I'd rather I die than the guy dies because it makes me sadder when the guy dies. But still, it's just weird and unexpected. And like I said, why didn't I heal? Because I heal, right? Me no understand. Well, we'll go after the regular bad ending after this. And where did everybody go? Well, I guess they all probably went to look for me, not knowing where in the world I could have possibly gone. But I guess everybody survived the battle since there's no bodies here, right? Alright, so now on to that plain old bad ending. And for that, basically, what we did in order to get to that tragic love ending, I saved right at the very last choice between saying okay and saying no. And if you say no this time, you get the regular old bad ending. No, I cannot give it to you. The water of life, if you remember. Upon hearing my response, Iba glared at me.
Chizuru.
Because drinking the water of life and becoming a fury is more than you think. I mean, a life spent in darkness and drinking the blood of others. Plus, Iba, don't you love Hijikata and Kondo and the rest of the Shinsengumi men too? So not only would you stop being human, but you couldn't fight beside the people that matter most to you. Iba looked at me with a troubled expression, and his gaze fell to the floor. But then, his face shifted into a kind smile.
Thank you. You always care for my well-being.
Iba had a determined expression, and I couldn't say anything back. And skipping until we come to the end, which is here during that fight. And he doesn't have the demon's arm because I wouldn't give him the water of life. Yeah! Apparently I'm attacking someone. In an effort to try to wipe away my fears, I had screamed out frantically and charged for Takeda. Takeda watched me come for him, his lips perking up.
You stupid girl. You can't. You mustn't kill her.
Father screamed at Takeda in panic. He didn't listen. His sword met with my body, piercing right through me as blood began to flow from my chest.
Chizuru!
The echo of Iba's scream seemed distant. I'm so sorry, Iba. When you needed me most, I failed you. So please, while you still can, run away. I'd wanted to scream all this out to him before whatever strength remained in me left my body. Then I faintly heard the sound of a familiar voice shrieking in agony. Whose voice was that? No. The heavy blood-covered body had fallen on top of me, his warm blood dripping on me. Then my consciousness faded away into darkness. So we went together. Which was kind of sweet in its own way. At least we weren't separated. Well, that's it for our darling Iba. So next I will be starting Kazue Soma's route, and that will be it for the brand new guys. I really enjoyed Iba's route, definitely. I mean, personally, I like Ryoma Sakamoto's better, because I just love his flippant attitude, you know? His happy-go-lucky self and all that. But, yeah, Iba's sweet, and he's cute. And Soma's definitely young, but we'll see how he works out. I hope he's not the brash type, but we'll see. So, hope to see you there, or in some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.